He never imagined he'd trust a stranger with his whole world. But in that one frantic moment, with sirens wailing in the distance and a man bleeding on the sidewalk, single dad Jason Harris did the unthinkable. He placed his infant daughter into the arms of a woman he'd never met and ran to save a life. What he didn't know was that this woman was fighting battles of her own, battles that would lead her to whisper a question that would change both their lives forever. Can I be her mom? Jason Harris wasn't supposed to be at that park. Life had been chaotic enough already. His wife, Emily, had passed away unexpectedly from a rare illness just 8 months earlier, leaving him to raise their 6-month-old daughter, Lily, alone. Every day felt like walking through fog. He barely slept, his job as a paramedic drained him physically, and the constant ache of loneliness weighed on his heart like an anchor. He loved Lily more than anything, but he often wondered if she deserved someone better, someone who wasn't drowning in grief. On this Sunday afternoon, he was simply trying to catch a breath. He had taken Lily for a walk in the park, hoping the fresh air would clear his head. He sat down on a bench and let the sunlight warm his face while Lily giggled softly in her stroller. For the first time in days, Jason allowed himself to smile. And then, chaos. A man collapsed just a few yards away, face first onto the concrete. People screamed. Someone shouted, "Call an ambulance," but no one moved to help him. Jason's training kicked in instantly. Without a second thought, he rushed over, but then froze. Lily. He couldn't leave her unattended. That's when he saw her. A woman sitting alone on the grass, sketchbook in hand, looking up from her drawing with kind but worried eyes. Something in her gaze told him she was trustworthy. Maybe it was desperation, or instinct, or divine timing, but Jason made his choice. "Please, can you hold her? Just for a minute, I need to help him," he pleaded, placing Lily gently into the woman's arms before she could even answer. The woman, Anna Brooks, was stunned. Her arms automatically wrapped around the tiny bundle of life now looking up at her with wide, innocent eyes. Anna had come to the park that day to escape her own heartache. She had recently finalized her divorce after years of trying to start a family. She had always dreamed of becoming a mother, but infertility and heartbreak had taken that dream away from her. Holding Lily now felt like an unexpected, bittersweet miracle. Jason worked quickly. He checked the collapsed man's pulse, performed CPR, and stabilized him until the ambulance arrived. When the paramedics, his own colleagues, took over, Jason's hands trembled with adrenaline and fear. What if something had happened to Lily while he was gone? He turned around and saw Anna, gently rocking Lily, humming softly. The sight stole his breath. In that moment, everything else faded away. When he approached her, she smiled softly and handed Lily back. "She's beautiful. You're a lucky man," she said. Jason nodded, too overwhelmed to speak. "Thank you. I didn't even ask your name." "Anna," she replied. He wanted to thank her properly, maybe offer to buy her a coffee, but life had a cruel way of rushing moments like these. Lily started fussing, and Jason knew it was time to go. He smiled awkwardly and said goodbye, assuming he'd never see Anna again. But fate had other plans. For days afterward, Jason couldn't stop thinking about Anna. Something about the calm way she'd held Lily, the gentleness in her voice, haunted him in a comforting way. She had reminded him that even in chaos, there were people who cared. Meanwhile, Anna couldn't stop thinking about the baby whose warmth had filled a void in her heart. That brief moment reminded her of the family she'd lost and the dreams she thought had died. 2 weeks later, their paths crossed again. Jason and Lily were at the same park when Anna appeared, this time walking a neighbor's dog. Their smiles met across the distance like old friends. They talked. And then they talked some more. It became a ritual. Park meetups turned into coffee dates, which turned into dinners, laughter, and long conversations about grief, love, and starting over. But the journey wasn't easy. Jason struggled with guilt. Was he betraying Emily's memory by opening his heart again? He worried about what people would say, a single dad falling for a stranger in the park. He questioned if he was moving too fast or if he was even capable of loving again. Anna battled fears of her own. What if Lily didn't accept her? What if she wasn't cut out to be a mother? What if Jason woke up one day and realized she was just a temporary comfort, not a lifelong partner? They both faced criticism from friends and family. Some said Jason was reckless to introduce a new woman into Lily's life so soon. Others warned Anna about the challenges of dating a grieving single dad. But through every doubt and every fear, they found solace in each other's company. They were two broken souls learning to heal together. One rainy evening, as they sat together in Jason's modest living room, Lily fell asleep in Anna's arms. Jason watched them, his heart overflowing with something he hadn't felt in months, peace. Anna looked up at him, her voice trembling but sincere. Jason. I know I'm not her mom. I know I can never replace Emily. But, would it be okay if I tried to be her mom? Not instead of Emily, but, alongside her memory. Tears filled Jason's eyes. He reached for her hand. You already are. In that quiet moment, something beautiful began. Not a replacement, but a new chapter. A family built not by circumstance but by choice. Months later, Jason proposed at the same park where their story began, beneath the oak tree where Anna had first held Lily. Surrounded by close friends and family, they celebrated not just an engagement, but the birth of a new beginning. And though life still brought challenges, sleepless nights, balancing work and family, navigating grief, they faced them together. With love. With grace. With hope. The message. Life is unpredictable. It shatters plans and breaks hearts in the cruelest ways. But sometimes, in the middle of heartbreak and chaos, it places exactly the right person in your path. Someone who helps you heal. Someone who reminds you that no matter how broken you feel, love will always find a way. So when life hands you a stranger, maybe it's not a stranger at all. Maybe it's your second chance.